Heidi. She died. Sip something light. Alrighty, so we're gonna do this live video, and in this particular video, we're gonna sample a few snacks from Asia. So we'll lay them out. Souschef is gonna cut them open. We're gonna jump right in. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching this either live or the replay. It's not gonna be a long video. Let's go. Any special order? I don't even know what this is. You had this before? Okay.
The waffle cookie.
We'll do this one last. Come on, baby. Scissors don't even want one. You already had this one, I know. Butter cheese biscuit. All right. I thought this would be a Swiss roll, based on what it looks like. Pause back, get back. I'm telling you now. I'm most disappointed by the way that looks at the moment. Apollo. That's the only reason I bought it. An Apollo Creed and Rocket. Okay, let's see where we at. All right. So, which one you want to start with? 1, 2, 3, 4. I knew you was going to say that. So number 1 is a Apollo Chocolat layer cake, Kek Colat Berlapis, and I don't know where it's from. Malaysia. How you like that? It's from Malaysia. So we're going to sample a few of these Asian snacks. Let me get the blade. I don't think I need a really strong knife. You ready, Lebu? That's big? No? Huh? All right. I think I'll get the other one. All right, cross section. Just upon, it looks like that would be peach or something like that. And it looks really dense. It looks dry. We'll see. What's up, Jimbo? Jimbob. And it's engulfed in a piece of chocolate. So we'll see. Souschef, you want to say?
Dry and crumbly.
Very dry, very crumbly, very sweet.
Like a wafer instead of
Like a wafer instead of
a cake.
a cake. Now I'm going to tell you what it is. It tastes like a moon pie. It tastes like a chocolate moon pie. And I'm going to say right now, I would definitely buy this one again. I'm like really enjoying it. Has like a hint of coconut. You pick that up? Well, this is a really nice, really nice. It's very dry though, very grainy. But guess what? That Apollo is excellent. 10 out of 10. What you rate it? A what? A 3?
Yeah.
You're not my daughter. All right, now we have this next. I thought this was going to be a Swiss roll because that looks like an American Swiss roll. But, yeah, looks like a Michael Jackson.
Doesn't look like a Swiss roll to you?
Heck no! Swiss rolls are chocolate.
Oh, I think there is a chocolate version.
No. All right, so look at the cross cut. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, this looks like a vanilla Swiss roll. All right, let's see. You see the cross cut? Mmm. Mmm.
It's a lot better than I was expecting.
Mmm. Let me see where this thing from.
I don't think there's any.
Straight out of Willy Wonka. I'm going to tell you, though. I'm getting... You tell me what you got. And I know you know these flavors. Look at the cross section. I'm getting very strong rice flavor. Man, I'm getting like jasmine rice. A strong jasmine rice flavor. But I'm going to tell you, the sugar in it, that is all rice to me, man. What you think?
I don't know what I think.
Okay. Well, you don't trust your daddy, huh? I've only been eating jasmine rice for the last 20 years. Here's the last piece. So yeah, so
Pretty soft.
yeah, the texture. Mm-hmm. You know what the texture is? The texture is marshmallow. Not the. It's a bread, but it's a marshmallow texture. It's really interesting. Like marshmallow has a lot of texture, but this is like a bread version of a marshmallow on the texture. I'm gonna rate this one because it has a strong rice flavor. You rate it first.
7.5.
Yeah. See, I was gonna say this is like if you like rice, it has a very strong rice flavor. I was gonna give it a 9.5 out of 10 personally, but Souschef rated it 7.5 out of 10. That's a high mark. High mark. You want to do this waffle now? So this is a Koyo Punto waffle, a Western style baked confectionery with cream sandwich between crunchy, wavy cookie baked with butter. Let me do it in my southern voice. Waffle, a Western style baked confectionery with cream sandwiches between crunchy, wavy cookies baked with butter. All right, I don't know where it's from either. I don't know. Koyo Punto?
This is Japanese.
Koyo Punto. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, my bad. I didn't see that. Koyo Punto. Ooh, woo. Look at this beautiful thing. Look, I'm going to tell you something about these Asian countries, man. These Asian countries, they know how to package stuff, man. Watch this. Let me sit that. Ooh, I'm going to enjoy that. That sucker. Look at this little thing. Is this a sticker? If I was Gambit on X-Men, it's a playing card. But they know how to package stuff. Just this little bitty card right here will stop this thing from getting all banged up in transit. Because you see all these little grooves that they hand cut into that? All right, let's cut this thing. Enough talk.
I wanted to buy that lot, but it was like $8.99 for the box.
You wanted to buy this?
Yeah.
All right, there you go. You got half.
It wasn't paying $9.
Show you the cross cut. Oh, you heard that crunch? Oh my goodness. Nah, they skimped us on this chocolate. They skimped us on that. So Koyoto Pondo, if you listening, I'm telling you, you skimped us. But the feel, watch this. All right, let's go in for a bye-bye.
It's like if Oreo had good quality.
Boy, get me some milk. Man.
The cookie's a bit harder than Oreo, but the closest thing to compare it to.
Mm-hmm. Very much Oreo.
But it tastes
A
lot
clean
better.
Oreo.
Yeah.
It has a real true non-artificial chocolate flavor. But the closest comparison, like Souschef said, is Oreo. But what's so interesting about this is the ridges. The ridges gives it amazing depth of texture. And it's not hard. Even though it's crunchy, those ridges really help it to break down nice. I'm gonna buy a bottle. That was excellent. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. I would like to break those up in a bowl and pour some oat milk on it and eat it like cereal.
Or you ice cream.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's do this. Souschef has had this one already. This is a butter cheese biscuit. Butter cheese biscuits. Is this Chinese, Japanese, Korean, or Japanese? I don't know, baby. It's from CH Foods USA. Oh yeah, that is Japanese. Ah, you sure that's not Mandarin?
Yeah.
Souschef speak a little Japanese, a little Chinese, and a little Korean. A little Cambodian, a little Vietnamese. All right, that's good. Oh man, look how these suckers are cracked. All right, you take the one that's not cracked. Ooh, you know what it looks like? At face value? A club. It looks like a club cracker at face value. What a beauty. What a beauty. All right, hold on a second. All right, so basically what we have here is a club cracker, but it's not as salted as club.
It's 30 too.
Yeah, cross cut.
It wasn't cheese flavored.
I can't taste the cheese.
I barely tasted, but I think I'd enjoy it more for it.
You taste the cheese barely at the very end.
The end, I don't like that.
It's a residual flavor.
But the texture's really nice.
I thought you said you like these.
I do. But this wasn't cheese flavored.
Mm-hmm. Tell you a little secret. When Daddy was firefighting, we always ate Mickey Brown tamales and burritos. And I never liked the burritos because of the cheese. So, there you go. All right. Now we have one more Asian persuasion to sample. This is Tyne Bin. Read the bottom words, baby. Say it again, what again? You learn thing? Daksan Bentre. What that mean?
Special product of bamboo.
Okay.
I don't know.
And this is Kwai Mon.
Taro and coconut.
Taro and coconut. Mon is coconut?
No, that's taro. The other side says it's coconut candy.
Okay. Hung Hiu Tu Nyan. What that mean? On the very bottom. See, boy, look at him. Souschef know his stuff.
Natural something.
Natural is what?
Natural.
Yeah, natural. That's fine. Souschef. Yeah, if y'all want to rent Souschef to go to the nail shop to know what's happening, let me know. 75,000 cash. All right, so this is a taro and coconut candy. Come on out this little thing. Remember we was talking about packaging? Is this
edible? Everybody asked me the same.
Yeah, I enjoy the edible wax paper that. Let me show you the. I'm sorry, I got this in like 6K. So, yeah. All right. Now I'm just showing you the compression test. By squeezing it. Give me another one. Now, It has a very strong coconut sensation.
It's a coconut oil.
Mm-hmm. It is. It tastes like exactly Souschef. If you ever was using coconut oil and you just licked the spoon because you didn't want to waste all that when you wash it.
It's good, but I don't think I'd buy it again.
You better buy them. Now I'm gonna tell you what it tastes like. Now listen to me good, Souschef. There's an American candy that is caramel and it has a white center. Your mama love them. They're caramel and it has a white center. Cowtails. This has the texture of cowtails and the flavor of cowtails. You see, your daddy's smart, yeah. Your daddy know food, all right? Now, I figured that out because 2 days ago, I ate 3 of them. And I'm like, wait up. The coconut is so pronounced. It is so good. It's like a mouthful of coconut oil. Organic, might I add. However, this tastes like a cow tail all at the same time. But the coconut is really good. The texture is good. All right. So, you didn't rate these. I'm going to give it an 8. Hey, Willie, what's up? Give me one of those coconut and taro again. So this is the box. It's a Vietnamese product. And coconut and then taro. Taro is a Asian potato. It's an Asian tuber. It's very starchy. A good place to go to get taro, the flavor of it, is anywhere that sells bubble tea. So if you go anywhere that sells bubble tea, you could get a taro flavor bubble tea. Say it louder.
You could eat it sweet, you can find it savory.
Yeah, sweet or savory. What I like to do when I get bubble tea, I get durian, the world's stankiest fruit, and I get taro also. But that's a different question. But this is the actual candy. It looks like a little bitty bar of clay or Irish soap. It has a very strong coconut flavor, that's not off-putting. It's not like an Almond Joy or a Mounds bar. This is like a mouthful of coconut oil. Speaking of which, like when you lick the spoon of some coconut oil. And
Natural tasting.
yeah, very natural tasting. But this thing is good. So it tastes like coconut oil, but it also tastes like the cowtail. Yeah, taro is a tuber, just like a potato. Mm-hmm. Yep. It's really good, man. All right, this is the last one I'm gonna eat. Because I'm diabetic. I shouldn't be eating all this sweet stuff for y'all. But I'm doing this to my body for y'all.
Give me like the cookie.
Oh, yeah. All right. So, since, all right, we'll just do it from the top. The Apollo chocolate layer cake, I gave this 10 out of 10. Boo Boo? Boo Boo said it was a 3. This was not a Swiss roll, but it was a Swiss roll. Boo Boo?
7.5.
7.5? I gave it a what?
9?
Yeah, I gave it a 9. It was great. This fancy Japanese waffle cookie.
9.
I gave that a 10. And Boo Boo, what you gave this butter cheese biscuit?
7.5. 7.5.
All right, and I give that I give it a 6.5 just because Club Cracker has spoiled me. Hey, what's up, Grandma Teresa? What'd it be like? I'm gonna tell you about the fishing trip in a second. But I give this butter cheese biscuit, I give it a 6.5 only because it looks like a Club Cracker. It just does not have the salt of a Club Cracker. And that is the bummer of that. So let me pick this trash up and discard this. We were just doing a blind tasting of some Asian snacks. And It went really good. It went really good. So yeah, we had a few little snacks to try, and that went great. Uh, the fishing trip went good today, Grandma Teresa, and everybody. Thank y'all for joining. I don't know how many I caught, but I knew I had to throw quite a few back. But I just have them. I just have them right here in the little bus tub. But I threw back more than I kept. Let me see. Let me figure this out right quick. You know I don't feel like dirtying no dishes. All right, let me just man up and stop playing. But caught some nice perch. You notice a little sun perch? Yeah, we're gonna have to do that. And look, some of them, he's a little bit small on the small end, but it worked out really good. I got a shell cracker in here somewhere. This was a real nice one. And I have a invasive species in here. It's called a Texas cichlid. I think this is him now. Nope, that's a little perch. They're in here somewhere. Yeah, this is a Texas cichlid. And these are invasive species. And I might keep him for catfish bait. So we're going to see how that goes. But yeah, so I'm going to do a little panfish fry tomorrow. Just to show everybody who may or may not know how panfish work. So I'm going to clean them tomorrow on camera. And I'm going to do that at some point. Tomorrow I have a really big day. I'm frying fish Tuesday. I have a big fish fry where I'm frying. I can't talk. I'm frying fish Tuesday. And I'm going to christen this baby right here. This is a 5 gallon. This is like a 2.5 gallon. This is my ugly pot, if y'all don't know. But I'm going to fry fish for 60 people in this 5 gallon Dutch oven. And I'll just show you this baby. This is like what's called a buckler. A buckler? A buckler is a shield. That thing is big enough definitely to be a buckler. And this is the pot. Give me 1 second. Let me show you this real quick. All right, so just to show you the scale of this pot. From that, I'm gonna go from inside diameter to inside diameter. So it's right under 16 inches. Right, well, actually, it's bigger than 16. I'm sorry. It's bigger than 16. And I don't know how to read this tape measure. 8/4, 3/8, half, 5/8, 3/4, 7/8, 8/8. Nope, that's not right. 8/4, 3/8, half, 5/8, 7/8. Okay. So 8/4. This is 1/8, quarter, 3/8, half, 5/8. 8/4. So it's 16 1/4. 16 1/4 inch wide. You gotta excuse me because on this easy read tape measure, I don't know who buy this stuff. I don't never use no easy read. But when you look at an easy read tape measure, why am I saying easy read? It ain't easy read. They just have all of these markings. So this mark right here, let me see if I could do this. Use my thermometer. Trying to watch out for the glare. So if I come to 10, that's an 8/4, 3/8, half, 5/8, 3/4, 7/8, whole. So it's just too many lines for me. This is a half right here, the big one. So that's too many lines for me to see with these old bad eyes. You know what I'm talking about? But anyway, so let's get a depth. Of. So it's 16 1/4 wide. Now this is my little way to cheat when I want to get the height of something. I was just saying my phone is rotating. What is that? Okay, there we go. Pretty big. It'll hold. That was so from me. All right, let me see. Let me cheat right quick to get this measurement of this big pot. I'll just sit it right there. Sit the wood right there. Come on down. It looked like it's 6 1/4 deep. 6 1/4 deep, 16 and a quarter wide. Yeah, it's I need my Stanley 25. This is get you out a bind tape measure at the house type deal, but yeah. But just to show you in scale, I did this yesterday, I think. This is just your standard tea kettle, and you could put that in the pot and have inches on each side of it. It's a really big pot. Yeah, you got almost 7.5 inches on each side. That's how big the pot is. Yep. So I planned on doing some shrimp stew, and that's not going to happen today. I've been trying to do that for the last 3 days, but it just didn't happen. So I have to give up on that goal right now. Let me put these babies back in the cooler because I need them to get cold. Hey, I want to show you this too right quick. Are you going to fix some hush puppies? So I don't know. And the reason I don't know is because, I don't know. It just depends on everything I'm trying to get done. We're going to see, but I want to show you something really cool. Hang on. All right. So I need somebody. Let me sit my little lard jug right there. I'm going to fry those perch in lard. Now I got this right here, but I need somebody to do a drum roll. I need somebody to do a drum roll. All right, watch this. Look at that there, boy. Look at that there. Huh? So you know the First Lady makes resin art? And she made something for somebody special. We letting it cure right now, but I had to let the cat out the bag, you know? Do you like it? That was a joke. Yep. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, every piece we make has minor imperfections. So it ain't perfect. It ain't supposed to be perfect, you know? So if y'all are on here, you're very welcome, Grandma. If y'all are on here, you know, yeah, I like it a lot. I really do. I like it a whole lot. And I didn't want to let the cat out the bag, but I said, well, you know what? You know, desperate times calls for desperate measures. But I just like it a lot. I like it a whole lot. And one thing about resin like this, after 1 month, it'll be food safe. Like if you just had a little, I'm just saying, not that you have to, it's not made to eat off of, but just saying, you know, yep, yep. But yeah, we appreciate all your support, and your help. And we appreciate you doing what you do, you know. And so it's just a nice little piece to just say thank you, you know. I mean, it's the least we can do after you watched all the videos. Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna end this live stream right now, because I got to get a few more things done before I shower, and I'm still working on this. Move this out the way, and this is the fish fry, and still trying to get a few things together. But thank y'all for popping on, and supporting this improv Taste of Asia. And I still have 1,000 videos to upload to YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. And I'm trying to work on getting everything off of my GoPro and off of my phone or tablet in order to get it going. Oh yeah, for sure, Grandma. Now look, I'm gonna tell you this now, Grandma. Don't be telling everybody that where you got this from, You could just say, from your friend. Yeah, but it's cool. I really like how the colors of it. It almost has that little space look. It looks like a cloud. It looks like you'll be able to see it a little bit better in and this dust, the resin dust that she uses, it's a different kind of dust, and so it has a few little pieces. She was like, "I messed this up." I'm like, "First lady, stop all that." She's like, "No, I messed it up." I'm like, "Listen, it's art." Yep, for sure. But like when people have a talent or a skill, all they see is the imperfections of their talent or skill, But at the end of the day, it's the thought that counts, So when you be out there doing good for people, don't think that people don't see it or care, But it's good to be good for the right reason. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely do that. And I've been looking at it for a while because it has to dry for 1 month in order to make sure it's fully cured. And, so I've been looking at it. I don't know. Let me see if I can show you this right quick. And put this back. All right, so it's been sitting on the table. So I get to see you every day on the table and in person. So she made some coasters. These are all coasters, black and gold, the fleur de lis or French lily, whatever you want to call it. She made all of these coasters. I want to show you the ones that she hand painted. She made a few bottle cap openers for all those bottle cap people. This was a magnet for a friend of ours' 50th anniversary party, and she made all these little magnets. So each little piece is a resin, and then she screen printed the name. A lot of work, but anyway, she made like 500 of those. She made this one for Chef Shaz Cuddy, and it has a little insert in it, a little heart, So I understand, Grandma. So these are some more pieces she's working on, and let me see. Now let me see if I can. Okay. I shouldn't even be over here. Y'all don't tell her I'm over here. All right. So these coasters are all hand painted. The fleur de lis, She hand painted all of them. So it's I don't know. I don't think she will. She gonna be like, that's it. Now she's making this one for uh, a fireman. All right, let me show you. Okay, so this is the nest that the coasters will sit in. You know, like that. Let me get from over here. Now, all right, these two pieces normally. All right, so this is a piece of chicken, and it's not a real piece of chicken, but it's a piece of chicken. So there's a restaurant in Gretna, and you've seen me red in the back. You know where I'm at. So Chicken's Kitchen was first. That was the first restaurant that the guy had. And so right now he's feeding all of the kids who could get to the restaurant. He's feeding them at the breakfast restaurant, and he's feeding them at the lunch restaurant for free all summer long. He's fed over 1,700 kids at his two restaurants for free. Now, I'm going to tell you this right now. So I had an idea. I said, well, look, let's make him one of the hearts, right? So we ordered off of the internet. We ordered the chicken, and then we ordered some eggs. Now, these eggs are wooden. They're actually wooden eggs. And sometimes with resin, stuff will bleach. It'll bleach colors and all of that stuff. But anyway, so we have a husky and we have a chihuahua. In every piece of resin art we make, you're always going to have a husky hair somewhere in it. It's going to happen. And so anyway, she made the Chicken's Kitchen heart. You know, you can see the chicken right there. And so how this works, she pours the first base layer, this red layer. Then, hey, what's up, Teresa Blanton? How's it going? She pours the first base layer, and then she inserted the chicken. And then, because I know, looking at the resin, she poured 2 pours of clear resin. So there's a line, there's a resin line. So you got the red line, then you have a white line, and then you have another line. So she poured 1, 2, 3 pours, and I think she did a top coat also on top to make it. Now we believe it or not, we know a few people that lost loved ones in death. Woo! I'm not laughing because of that. I was reading the comments. But like for anniversaries or for funerals, like we'll get some of the flowers from the funeral, and then First Lady will pour the first layer, whatever color. Then she'll put a picture of the deceased in here, and then she'll pour the next layer on top, you know, and or she'll do it for an anniversary. It'll be a husband and wife thing. But she made these 2 for the guy that's feeding all these kids for free at the restaurant, you know. And so the Coop is a breakfast restaurant. So she did the eggs, and then you can see on the back how we need, the mold that we use, it was like peeking out. So we had to do another pour on top for a different top coat just for that egg to cover. This is a pretty thick pour, and they're always dangerous to do. So like on this one, you can see the drumstick right there. All right, I'll show you. I'll show you Teresa Blanton. All right. So this is just her little nook where she does all of her work at. So there's too many pieces over here. All right, so let me show you this right quick. This is she does like custom notebooks too. So this is going to be a custom notebook for somebody. All right, I'm gonna pull it up. Yep. And this is the signature piece for Grandma Teresa 455. And then she has Grandma's catchphrase, Grandma loves you. That is fresh. It's fresh. I really like the purple and the pearl and the white specks. I think it really just makes it pop. I really do. And then the butterflies, the hologram butterflies, they're a hologram. They're pretty cool. They're really cool. So, yep. You see. Yeah, she said, I'm sure if you look at it hard enough, you're going to find a husky hair somewhere in it, but that's just part of, I definitely will, Grandma, definitely. That's just part of the process though, So, let me show you this. She does a lot of work with fresh flowers too. I don't know what this is, but those are all fresh flowers on the inside. And so what she does, she dries them out. She has to dry them out. And once they're dried out, then she can use it. And the reason you dry the flower is because you don't want the color to bleach. You don't want the color to bleach. Now, this is a little example of one of the hearts that she's doing. And you see that husky hair right there? You see the husky hair? Can't get away from it. But anyway, so this, I don't know what this, but it's not a thick pour. But I don't know what this heart is for. But if you look down at the bottom, these little holes right here, those two holes, that is going to be for a pedestal for the heart to sit on like this. And I don't have an example of it right here at the moment. Oh, man. This is going to be, for this notebook right here, this is going to be the custom pen that goes with the notebook. So, and this is going to be a bookmark for the notebook. But let me see. Let me open this up because now this is just to keep husky hair out of what she's working on, and so she's making a different kind of heart. The little heart is going to hang on the big heart, and then she's making a love sign right there. And I don't know what this little dish right here will be, but we'll see. She's really talented, and she started doing resin art. She paints, she does resin art. She's an artist, she really is. So anyway, that's just some of her stuff she's working on. I shouldn't be touching nothing over you, honestly. I don't know if this is going to be a coaster or what, but it's pretty cool. Okay, Grandma. I'll let her know. She made this little dish right here. This is one of her little dishes. She has buku vase that she's made. See, I'm already messing stuff up. And I'm going to get fussed at for being over here. But you know what? I've been getting fussed at for 24 years. So she's drying out some flowers right here. And she's drying out these roses right here. These were some yellow roses that a friend of ours had at a very special event. And she's drying them out. I'm going to probably use some of these petals to make some resin bow ties. Because I've made a few in my day, resin bow ties. And she uses a few different types of resin. All resin is not equal. So you got UV resin, and then you have another resin, and you have another resin that I know of. But that's the video. Thanks, girl. Oh, yeah. So I got to get back on the grind, and I'm going to see y'all tomorrow, and we'll chop it up from there. Let's see. Yeah, like she makes some of these little trinket dishes. So like if you got rings or jewelry or other things, you could get the little case, and then you could put all of your little artifacts in there, So she does all of those little different things, like that. People like the little whatnot type things. Like this little one here has a heart attached to it. I don't know what camera trick she used to do that, but it's got a heart on it. So pretty cool. And she always tell me, I'm not good at nothing. I'm like, I know, huh? All right. So I'm going to get back on it, and I'm going to see y'all soon. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for supporting the channels on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and all those other imaginary places where I'm not at. And also, give Grandma Teresa a follow. She does a lot of good cooking videos where she's a senior that cooks on a budget, and she shows you a lot of different ways to stretch your dollar and to please the crowd, whether it's just you or somebody else. So check out, and I will definitely see y'all soon. Hey, what's up, SFA? How's it going? That's right. That's right. But one thing I've learned from watching Grandma Teresa's channel is that the community makes the channel. You could have all of the most nicest, the bestest, the greatest, the most expensive, but if people don't watch the channel, then all you have is memories, photos, and videos. And so the fact that Grandma is able to draw in a large crowd of people, that's great. I'll tell you this. I remember when I first met Grandma, I think I might have had like 500 people on the channel supporting it, and Grandma might have had like 300. And Grandma's channel blew up. It blew up, and it was like boom. It was like boom. Grandma hit a gold mine, and she's doing great. She's doing great. And that's one of the things that I try to remind people, like when you make content, your content, don't compare it to anybody else. Don't compare your content to anybody else. They got 5,000 people that are doing the same thing you're doing in your city. But don't compare yourself to other channels. Just record and upload every day. Because what that's going to do is going to help you to reach whatever goal you want or that you're trying to get. But if Grandma Teresa is trying to compare herself to Gordon Ramsay, some people will love her more than they love Gordon Ramsay. But that's not fair to compare yourself. That's right, Grandma. All you could be is you. And so I find that a lot of times when people make content, they want to blow up overnight. But it's like, if you blow up overnight, how is that going to help you throughout the years to come with making content? No way. I didn't know that, Teresa Blanton. And look, that's another thing. Like, you have a lot of folks like Teresa Blanton who supports, a lot of channels. SFA supports a lot of channels. And I realized, like, in the very beginning, one of my friends, he gave me a lot of advice. And he told me, he said, look, man, you're not going to be able to respond to everybody that comments. And I said, no, I will. I ain't never going to not respond to everybody that comments. I'm going to always personally do that. Now, I will tell you this. They have a few people who have said things, and I responded to them professionally because I personally read comments. Like, if I go on Grandma's page and I'm looking at a video, I'm going to read the comments because I'm interested in what people are saying. But I also realize that everybody is not going to agree with what you're doing, saying, or showing them your version of doing it. But there's more than one way of eating a Reese's, you know? That's good, Grandma. Yeah. But I think the personal interaction with interacting with people who post content and even who post comments on your content, I think that's so important. And even when you go live, like one of the nice things about live is when you go live, you get a chance to really help people to have interaction. Now, depending on what you're doing, it's easy when you have a moderator to read the comments. Like if you're trying to cook some of your hot dogs, Grandma, and you can't, and you're live, you can't see on the other side of the screen to know what people are saying. So sometimes I think that, you do need a little bit more help when you go live, but there's nothing like seeing it done live. The reason I like going live is because the person can see the whole concept from start to finish. And I think it just gives a better picture. Everything doesn't have to be edited. It doesn't have to be perfect because you're live. So you really get to see a more realistic product. But I think when you just make content, remember why you're making it. Remember why you make content. Make your content, upload your content. It's your page, so it should be you. And everyone is unique in that respect, and even, making it, and I don't gamble personally. So I just want to preface that. I don't gamble. I think the only way to win is not to play. But one of my friends was telling me, you need to do this, you need to do that. And what I came to appreciate was this. You can blow up on social media like that. I do the same thing you did, and you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna crash and burn. It's like the lottery. Everybody wins the lottery at different times with different numbers. It's rare that everybody win with the same number. And I think social media is like that. There's a young lady right now, now I'm gonna just say this, there's a young lady right now, and she does fishing videos. And she has 5 videos. 4 of the 5 are shorts, so they're under a minute. And she has 1,200. Nope. She's right at 1,000 followers, if not 1,200. And she's only been doing it less than a month. 5 videos, 4 of them shorts, less than a month. But you know what? People like seeing certain content, so that could help you to be more successful with the kind of content that you're doing. Some people like outdoor type stuff going on, camping, hiking, fishing, hunting, stuff like that. Some people like restoration. There's a lady on TikTok, and she goes to the thrift. She'll buy a piece of, what do they call that? Sterling silver? She'll buy a piece of sterling silver and she'll clean it. All she does is just clean it. And she does great. Sausage, gravy, and biscuits. Can't wait. What time, Grandma? Okay, that's fine too. Not a problem. I might go to the coop. Nope. I don't know. I might go to the coop. I'm probably not going to go to sleep tonight, honestly. But I might go to the coop tomorrow morning because I got a big day tomorrow. But this lady has 5 videos and she has quite a following. And when I first started doing YouTube, I told myself I was never going to be gimmicky, and I may be gimmicky. I don't know. but I'm not going to intentionally be gimmicky because I'm not looking for everybody. I'm just looking for the right people, you know? And another thing, I'll tell you, lunch, because I really don't eat till, okay, cool. That sounds good, Grandma. Tune in to Grandma Teresa Gilmore for lunch. Sausage, gravy, and biscuits. Out here in Lafayette, all the way to Houma, they do tomato gravy. I don't know if you ever had that, Grandma. Tomato gravy? Teresa, tomato gravy? But they'll do a tomato gravy. And it's really good. It is really good, you know. But when I started doing YouTube, I told myself I was never going to be gimmicky. Yeah, it's great. It's great. It is great. I love it. So white gravy or sausage gravy, tomato gravy, those are two big time gravies. But in my city, in New Orleans, a lot of people don't eat white gravy. I was 20 years old the first time I had white gravy. I was with two of my friends, and I met them through my wife. I got married, I think I was 19. And so they were like, hey, we're going to eat. I'm like, all right, cool, where are we going? They said Cracker Barrel. I'm like, I'm not going to eat at no goddamn Cracker Barrel, you know? I didn't even know what Cracker Barrel was, you know? But at 18, I bought my first shotgun, and it was a crack barrel shotgun or breech barrel. And so all I was summating Cracker Barrel with was a whole bunch of shotguns pointed at me. But Cracker Barrel is fantastic. It's fantastic. It's like home away from home. But that was the first place I got white gravy. Because my boy was like, look, you got to get this. So I was like, okay. And I fell in love with white gravy. And then my boy, his mama, she's from Kentucky. And she would make me all the time homemade cream corn. Man, and she would cut all of those kernels off of the corn husk, the corn cob, and make me homemade cream corn. Man, I love Betty. I'm salivating just thinking about it. But that's when my love affair began with white gravy. And I think everybody should learn how to make it and at least try it. And I think that was Teresa Blanton that told me when I go to the coop, I should get some white gravy on the biscuit, you know? But he doesn't sell white gravy. So I asked him, would he put it on the menu and just do like biscuits and gravy? And he said that he would put a test filler out there to see if people would support it. With all of the kids that he's feeding, I said, well, what do you do with your leftover grits? A good idea is when you make your grits, make extra and then pour them into like a hotel pan. And then what you do, you cut them in the shape of a square. And then you cut the square on an angle and you make a diagonal. And then you put it in a little white flour. Then you put it in egg wash. And then you put it in some breadcrumbs. And then you fry it. You do the grit cakes. Definitely, Grandma. It would definitely do it. So I was trying to get him to do some grit cakes with maybe a piece of sausage on top of the grit cake with some white gravy and biscuits on top of that, you know. But he said he did grit cakes in the very beginning and it didn't really sell good. And that's just because in New Orleans, we eat what our mama and what our grandmother and what our auntie cook. That's it. We don't really venture out past that too much. But I think that now's the time to really, you know, when kids are young, that's when you really should feed them the most diverse cuisine. You know what, Grandma Teresa, when you told me you was from the hills, I figured that. I figured you had to know how to cook country food, you know? But what's so interesting, we have a number of restaurants in the city of New Orleans, and all they serve is country food. I worked at this one fancy restaurant, white tablecloths, red wine, 5-7 courses, soup, appetizer, salad, entree, you know, very fancy, dessert, and reservations only. And when I worked at that restaurant, they served grits, polenta, foie gras, sweetbreads, salmon, drum, fillets, and shrimp. And we did an oyster dish too. We did an oyster dish. We would fry these oysters, and we put this garlic and butter and herb sauce on them. It was horrible. It was horrible. But I had to cook that dish so many times that I crave it. I crave it. I crave it. And the restaurant closed down a few years ago, and I'm so disappointed because I would have loved to have gone back as a patron of the restaurant, you know. But anyway, the dish was really good after eating it so many times, you know. But while I was making it, I hated it. But towards the end, I really fell in love with it. And now I just would give anything to make it, you know. But they called it Oysters St. Claude. And it was a very good dish, you know. So my mom never cooked white gravy. Like I said, I was 19 the first time I tried it. And it changed my life. They don't. They don't. But the thing that hurts me about some of these fancy places that cook country food, like they want top dollar. If you ever go anywhere and try to buy chicken crackling or pork crackling, they call them gratin out here. They want like $21 a pound. And that's peasant food. That's country food. That's food that, you know, Latinos are the reason flank steak is so high. They used to give flank steaks away, but Latinos started using it, and now they cost just as much as a filet. Chicken wings were dirt cheap. Chicken wings were dirt cheap. Now, chicken wings, because of this resurgence of them, they're ridiculously high. I had 19 more things that have changed like that. Oxtails. We know they ain't no real ox, but oxtails were dirt cheap. Now, they want $20 for less than a pound of oxtails. It's ridiculous. So the popularity of country food or peasant food has made it regentrified. And now there's a restaurant in New Orleans called Cochon. I went there one time. I loved everything I had, but I'll never go back again because they taken all of this simple, comfort, country, Creole, Cajun, peasant food, and they have a regentrified price on it. It's like that food should never cost that much, but supply and demand. And it does. It does. And then when you go to a fancy joint, it's not really designed for you to get full because in theory, they want you to have the soup. They want you to have the salad. They want you to have the entree. They want you to have the dessert and maybe an appetizer, you know? And so it's designed for you to have all of these little bitty portions to get the whole ambiance of champagne dreams and caviar. You know? I worked at this really fancy hotel. Beef bourguignon. They had all kind of pasta dishes. Oh, it was state of the art, you know, beautiful menu. And we used to have some shrimp. They were 4-count shrimp. And the way counts work, whenever you have a shrimp, they'll say the denifibs. I never heard of denifibs. I hope I understood that. But yeah, they would have 4-count shrimp. So the way count work on shrimp, it'll say like, say for example, 2125 shrimp. That's the count, 2125 count. So that means you have 21 to 25 shrimp that make 1 pound. So we were selling 4 count shrimp. So that meant each shrimp was a quarter of a pound. And man, it made some of the best shrimp cocktail you ever wanted to eat. Those shrimp looked like like that, you know. They were amazing. And I enjoyed eating them. Yep. Then the fives. Yep. That's right. But food is good. Family and food, friends and food. Oh, okay. Yeah. But believe it or not, Grandma, that's why I like, believe it or not, Teresa, that's why I like going to the coop. Because when I go to the coop and I get a baby back, they give me grits, egg, my choice of meat. I always get hot sausage and I get a biscuit, and that's only like $4.83. And it's like it has the quality that you get in food and the price point. I mean, man, like it's amazing. And the grits are so flavorful. It's amazing. I'm salivating. I don't even think I'm hungry. It is. It is so good. The quality is top notch. The price is unbeatable. It's like it's just the perfect breakfast spot. Perfect breakfast spot. In my life, I grew up eating grits that were water based, and oftentimes when you go to a restaurant or a diner, they were never seasoned. So they give you the salt and pepper packets, and if you ever had water grits, they have a certain flavor. Excuse me, water based grits, they have a certain flavor. But when you eat grits that are milk or cream based, the flavor is so much more amplified. Now, when I was a little bitty kid, when my mama was cooking grits, we never had a lid. We never had a pot lid. We always put a plate on it. I don't know why. I don't know whatever happened to the pot lids. I might write a book and ask that, and that'll be the name of the book. Whatever happened to the pot lids? But we never had a pot lid for that pot. We would always have a plate on it. And sometimes you'll go and you'll just lift that plate up and look in it. But whenever my mama cooked grits, she cooked them for a minimum of 3 hours. A minimum. You had to look at that pot on the stove, get mad. It ain't ready yet? No, it's not ready. Don't touch that lid. Don't touch it, you know. But it had to cook for a minimum of 3 hours. And her grits had great flavor, even though they were water-based. But when I started cooking professionally, it was like my chef, he taught me how to cook grits cream-based. So basically, now what I do when I personally cook grits, I start them off with water, and then at about 75% cooked, that's when I add my warm cream to them. And when I say cream, I just mean whole milk or heavy whipping cream. You know, and I'm telling you, cream and butter will change your life. Cream, butter, and salt. I tell this little joke, but I'm serious. If all I could pick was 3 ingredients to use to cook anything, vegetables, protein, if I could only pick 3 things to use to cook anything, 3 ingredients, I would always pick salt, black pepper, and an onion. I would pick that over anything else. Salt, black pepper, and onion. Because I think with those 3 things, you can make anything taste good. But that's just my 2 bits. The ramblings of an old soul. Yep. But it's gonna be pretty cool once See, most of the time when I shop at the store, I get what I could afford to buy. So if you see pork chops a lot on the channel, that's because I can't pass up that pack of pork chops for $10 a pack. You know, if I see the beef, like the top sirloin top round or whatever, I get that beef meat because it's $10 a pack, and I really like the way it tastes. So I want to add more diversity to the channel, but I'm gonna do all that in time. Yeah, you go by what's on sale, because if I bought everything I wanted to cook, number one, I wouldn't have a place to put it. Number two, I would literally probably spend $1,000 a week. You know, Grandma, I'm telling you right now, are you gonna go to a restaurant and get it, or are you gonna do it at home? Okay, yeah. Now, there is a cut of steak. They call it a chuck eye. It has a little bit more marbling than ribeye. You know, and when I was firefighting, we would go to this particular store called Rouse's, and we would order chuck eye steaks, because a ribeye would be like $30, but the chuck eye steak was only $10. So we would get chuck eyes and put them on a broiler in the oven, and we would have a good time with that. We'd have a real good time with that. But when you see me get those little $10 packs, it's like, you know, I'm getting that for a reason. Now, my sister, Chef, I would hate to know what Chef food bill is. Chef spares no expense. She spares no expense. You know, she'll be like, you know, I feel like eating this, and she'll go buy that. And I'm like, you know, who does that? Who does that? Well, they got a lot of people that can. You know. Now, I will tell you this. Part of the reason, like, I'll eat out at certain places is because I'm really just trying to have diversity of content for the viewer. So I'll go get those oxtails because I look at that as a working investment in the channel, you know. And some people, you know, like when you're starting YouTube, one of my major I would never do this was I was never gonna just cook, because I think if I just was gonna cook, it would put me in a niche. Now, some people say you should be in a niche. You know, they say you shouldn't do nothing. You should stay in a niche. You shouldn't do nothing that, and I say, well, you know what? That's an interesting concept, but I'm more than just a person that's gonna cook, you know? That's why I asked y'all a few nights ago in that video, do you think I should start doing camping videos, you know? Wow. That's not a lot, Grandma, at all. So I'll tell you this. When I got disabled, I get 2,000, is either 22 or 24, is either 22 or 24, 85, 13 every month. My truck note's $750 and my rent is $1,000. You know, so it's like, you know what? I think I'm gonna get that $10 pack of pork chops. You know what? Don't worry about that prescription over there at Walgreens. You know, they don't even call me to tell me they're picking it up no more. They used to text me, if you don't come pick this up, you have 3 more days left. They've been stopped doing that. They've been stopped doing that. Yeah. Yeah. And look, you can manage as long as you don't have a rainy day. You know, you can manage as long as everything goes according to plan. Yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely. But I'm not complaining about it in the sense of, uh, I'm just saying that, you know, that's the hand that we were dealt. You know, we got to make it. We got to make it with what we got. However, you know, I'm hoping that at some point I could get a few sponsors. And if I could get oh, we know you can, Teresa. Definitely. We all live on Earth. We all live on Earth. I'm hoping that I could get a few sponsors. Like, I would love for the supermarket Rouse's to sponsor me. And one of my favorite andouille, I have two that's my favorite. It's Veron, Veron, and the Best Stop. Those are my favorite andouilles. I love for them to sponsor me too. There's a guy named Miguel. Miguel can cook. And one day, I saw him on Instagram a few years ago, 5 years ago, and this dude cooks every day. And I'm talking about he's got to spend $200 a day on what he cooks. It's something to eat. That's right. If you got to eat gravy every day, it's something to eat. It could be a whole lot worse. You know, be a whole lot worse. But I really enjoy, and I'll tell you this, when I was a little kid, my dad worked extremely hard to provide the necessities that we needed. It was 7 of them. It was 7 of us. And like my dad was a cop, you know, and he didn't make a lot of money, but he worked his butt off, you know, he worked his butt off, and we never went without anything. And I tell this little joke, you know, I tell people, I say, look, I always had hot water and air conditioning coming up. Food, hot water, and air conditioning. My dad always provided, you know, and great man. But one of the things I learned as I got older and I got on my own, I learned how to be more resourceful with what I had. And sometimes I'll look in the cupboard or I'll look in the refrigerator and I'll be like, what can I make? And so I just play Iron Chef. And that's how a lot of that stuff that I was cooking, it was like, that's how it came about. Because for so long, I would put things together creatively and they would be hit after hit after hit. And my wife would always be like, where you got that from? I'm like, baby, look, all I did was went in the cabinet and added this with this with this. And she was like, how you like that? You know? And it's like, well, I mean, it's pretty good, you know? Pretty good. So you can say, I don't have any jelly to go with this peanut butter. Or you can say, you know what? I got this peanut butter. I got some honey. Or I got some of that Steen's cane syrup. And that's going to have to work. Or I got these blueberries. I'll smash them up and add a little bit of sugar to them. And I'll make a little quick compote. And I'll put that with the peanut butter. If I have to have a fruit with it, you know? Yeah, that's right, Teresa. You work with what you got. You know, that's right, Grandma. And that's how you get creative and resourceful. Because that's what our parents did. That's what our grandmothers did. They didn't always have everything that matched. But they cooked it with love. And we felt that. We felt that. You know? But if things improve and I get some sponsors, then you know what? That's good too. You know, that's good too. That's good too. But if not, so what I am, my whole YouTube theory is I'm gonna record a little bit of my life every day and I'm gonna upload it. And wherever that goes, it goes. But I'm not gonna put any pressure on myself to become Mr. Beast. You know, I'm not doing that. I'm not done. Day at a time. That's right. Day at a time. But I will tell you this. I have thoroughly enjoyed making YouTube videos. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. That's right, Grandma. And I will tell you this, though. I will tell you this. For all of the women and men who have all of these subscribers because they advertise their self, their body, their lips, their beauty, their clothes, their modesty or lack of modesty. Like for all of the people that do that, you're gonna get subscribers. Grandma, I guarantee you, if you put your feet on the camera and you let people look at your feet when you're going live, you're gonna get subscribers. You're gonna get watch hours. But think about this. What kind of people are subscribing? And the watch hours are from those people, you know? So I don't really want to get subscribers or watch hours from those groups of people that want to see my feet. You know, and I'm not picking on them. They got a lot of people that show their feet. But I don't want them looking and just waiting for me to drop a French fry on the ground so they can see my feet, you know? Like, come on, man, get a life, you know? Well, I'll tell you this, Teresa Blanton. I have a lot of pride, all right? I have a lot of pride. But I'm also very impetuous too. So when I first started doing YouTube, I made a promise to myself. I gotta find that guy. I gotta find him. Yep. But I made a promise to myself when I first started doing YouTube videos. I told myself I would never ask anybody to subscribe. Never. And you can look at every bit of the 1,600 plus videos I have on YouTube, and you'll never hear me ask anybody to subscribe. And the reason I don't, besides being stupid, no, the reason I don't is because I really feel that the right people will subscribe on their own, and they don't need to be prompted or told to subscribe. The only thing I ask people to do is comment. That's it. But I don't ask anybody to subscribe, because if you don't like the content, you know what to do. If I ask you to subscribe and you subscribe and you don't like the channel, I don't want you to feel like you got to stick around, because no, live your life. But I don't ask people to subscribe because I really feel that when a human being likes something, they'll do it again. If they like something, they'll buy it again. If they like something, they'll look at it again. You know, so that's my whole thing. When you go to a diner and you get a server, it should not have to ask you to tip. You should tip. Well, in my part of the world, we customarily tip. But it's not customary for a server to ask for a tip. So we tip. And I felt like with the YouTube page, if somebody really wanted to be there, they'll be there. And I'm going to tell you this, since we're talking about this. So whenever Grandma goes live, she encourages people to network, swap, sub, all of that good stuff with each other. And I think that is so noble. But yesterday, yesterday was the first time, I think, on my own, when I went on her live, I told everybody, like, hey, everybody. Now, if somebody says, hey, pause, I'm going to respond to them back. But sometimes I don't speak to everybody on Grandma's live, because it's like it's Grandma's live. And I just feel really self-conscious about being like, what's up, Natty? Oh, hey, Teresa. Oh, what's up, Lisa? I just think that for me, I'm socially awkward like that, So for me, I just want to slide in, talk with grandma. If somebody address me, I'll address them. You know, when somebody new come in, I hit go to their channel. I click on their name. I go to their channel. I just look at the channel really quickly to see if it's a real person or a bot. So I do the background check like that. Yeah. Thank you, Teresa. I appreciate that. Y'all do great with supporting other people too. Well, you know, Grandma, I'm gonna tell you this. I think you're getting a tremendous amount of support. I really do. Because I remember when you were at 300, and I'm talking about less than 2 months later, you hit 7, 9, 1,000 like that. I remember that. And I was really happy and rooting for you. And that's why I always told you, when you make it, don't forget about me. I'll come wash the dishes. You know? And thank you. I have issues, you know? But at the same time, like, and this is just me. Let me show you this right quick. So what had happened was, when I started doing TikTok, like TikTok was amazing. My TikTok is doing great. They try to pay me money and all of that stuff, you know, but I don't accept it because I can't make money with disability from the fire department. And it's only like 30 cents, 20 cents, $3, you know. But anyway, so what happened, I started riding around the city of New Orleans. For sure, Grandma, I ain't gonna forget you either. We make a good team. I told you that. You too, Teresa. So I started riding around New Orleans on TikTok. And I was getting so much publicity. Like, I got 300 followers one day, just riding my bicycle around the city of New Orleans. Well, what happened was TikTok started shutting down my bike rides. They said I was doing dangerous activity. And you know what? Riding a bike in the city of New Orleans isn't dangerous, but they said I was doing dangerous activity. So they kept shutting my videos down, and I was just like, okay. So I figured out that they were shutting me down because they didn't like me riding the bike. One day I was talking on TikTok about falling off of my bicycle, and they just turned my stream off. So TikTok will make you and they will break you very easily. So when I was riding on TikTok, I wasn't having content for YouTube. So I borrowed some money and I got this baby right here. So how this little thing works, this is a mode button, but this top button right here. So let me just show you this right quick. So when you open it up, you have a battery right here. All right. So you have an SD card that goes right here. And I got fat Souschef's fingers. But anyway, that's the SD card. You push that in. This thing is designed where you could change the accessories. Like this little clip, it just clips on right here. And you could take that little door off. And this is where you could charge it right here. But it has a battery. So you put the battery, GoPro lines up, you just slide it in, just like that. And then when you hit the top button, now I'm recording. So it lets me know how many minutes I have left. I can record on the SD card, tells me my battery, and also how long the video is. Let me stop it. Why did I do that? All right, so I click the side button, and it takes pictures also. You can do photos. and time lapse. So if you want to watch the cosmos and the stars overhead, the Boris, the Northern Lights, you can set up the GoPro on time lapse and it'll just record the whole whatever. But I started using this so that I could record while I was on TikTok live streaming. I could still record whatever I was doing for my YouTube content. And I ain't paid for this yet, but in a sense of I haven't generated income to pay for this yet. But look, TikTok is amazing. It is amazing. And you would do good on TikTok, Grandma. You really would. But TikTok is a different atmosphere than YouTube is. Like, people go to YouTube because it's a college. People go to TikTok because it's a club with college people. But it's amazing. It's amazing. And it's also a wide net. It's also a wide net. So with this little majigum, so whenever I record with the GoPro, let me see. Whenever I record with the GoPro, like my fishing trip, for example, today, I was able to record the fishing trip while I was there on the GoPro. And when you were doing your live stream on YouTube, I was able to look at your live stream whilst I could be recording content. If I'm going to do a voiceover, then I don't mind if the GoPro picks up other noises, because all I'll do is I'll cancel those noises out, and then as I'm looking at the video, I'll do a voiceover to add commentary to the video. And something I'm trying to work on now is speeding up videos while, like, I'll kill all of the audio, I'll speed the video up, and then I'll do a voiceover. That knocks off like 10 minutes doing it that way. 10 minutes of the viewer having to watch. And I'm also editing videos a little bit more, but all of your videos go on your memory card here. And then from there, you take it off of the GoPro and you put it on your phone, or you put it on your tablet or your desktop. And then from there, you upload them to YouTube. So if a video is 30 minutes, then it just takes time. And I don't know anybody that has time. But a lot of the folks that do really good with content, they spend a lot of time editing, or they have somebody that do the editing for them. That's right. Some have lives. That's right. But I could tell you this. When I very first started doing YouTube, September of 2024, I was working 16 hours a day. Because I would just record stuff during the daytime, but I would work 16 hours a day. I would upload from 12 o'clock midnight to 3 o'clock in the morning every day. But you know what? I learned a lot. I learned a whole lot. And I just had to go through those growing pains of learning that way. It was long. It was grueling. But one of my friends, he was telling me nobody wants to watch a long video. And I said, well, they got a fast forward button. They got a fast forward button. But if I'm making something, there are people that want to see from start to finish. And so I cater to them more than the people with ADHD who just want a 3-second clip that tells you the whole movie. It's like, that's impossible. But one thing that does help, whenever you're recording a video and you want to show somebody how to do something, if you don't talk in the video that you're recording, and you just record, what that's going to do is going to help you to do a better job when you go to edit the video. Because if I don't talk while I fry an egg, there's going to be some laws in the egg just sitting in the skillet. And when I edit it, I could remove a minute and a half of the egg just sitting there waiting for it to get cooked. And that's the good thing about editing. But if I'm talking while I'm doing that, I'm not going to want to edit the video, because the commentary is the most valuable thing of the video. The commentary, not the egg actually cooking. So I'm a fan of commentary. And I'm trying my best now to still give commentary, but make the video shorter. But I'm sorry, like, I don't really want to make the video short. I don't really want to make the video short because I had to stand up for 4 hours and cook those red beans. You know? So if I make the video short, then the people that are watching the video don't really understand the effort that went in to them seeing this little 60-second clip of red beans, the final product. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you so much, boo. I feel like it's just a big learning curve, but I think editing could help. Also, I got really discouraged last night. I looked at this guy, and he talks about, stuff that could help with making videos. And I don't know how I've seen this guy, but he's like, look, when you start your video, if you grab the person's attention, they'll watch it longer. So he told a story of a guy who got 1 million subscribers in 1 year. And the guy started the videos the same way. He'd be like, you should, and that would get people's attention. But that ain't me. So even though that may work, I'm okay with not being with 1 million subscribers in 1 year. Because it's like, if I alter too much of my life to make a video, I'm not me anymore. I lose all my creativity. I lose my signature. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. But that kind of put me in a little funk, because I was like, you know what? He's right. If I don't, this lady tells this story. She says, if you really want to get views, this is what you do. She said, this lady who cooks, can you make your videos in landscape and horizontal? You could. You really could. Yeah. You really could. Yeah. I'm going to try, Grandma. She said this lady went in her refrigerator while she was cooking. She did a camera view in her refrigerator. And right when she went to grab the eggs, they had a box of tampons in the refrigerator. And the lady never looked at them. She never talked about them. She never said nothing about them. She acted like they wasn't even there. But what the lady did was, the lady caused a buzz. And so now people in the comment section are talking about what they saw in the lady refrigerator. And they fell right for her plan. And so now these women are saying, hey, are we supposed to have that in the refrigerator? And so this whole bit of banter and chatter and interaction went back and forth. Now, the lady who's telling the story of what the other lady did, she said she went to make cookies. And the way she had the camera was kind of on a down angle where it could see a few inches below her waist. So what she did was she unzipped her jeans. She unzipped her jeans. And everybody was like looking at the video because her jeans were unzipped. All the women that was looking at the video was like, oh, I feel sad for poor baby. She's cooking cookies and her jeans are unzipped. Her zipper's unzipped. But she told us she did that on purpose. And that video hit 100,000 views. You know? So there are ways to get people to stay longer on the video or to interact by commenting. And you'll find, like when you make videos, some people will not comment until they have something critical to say. Then they'll comment. You know, you should have did this. My grandma do this. You know, and it's like, oh, okay, cool, thanks. Stan, what's up, baby? Now, if y'all don't know, Biker is my brother. He is right after me. Clickbait for the win. Oh yeah, dude. It's good to have you back, Biker. That's right, Grandma. But look, Grandma, I'm gonna tell you this. Grandma, listen to me good. I feel the same way. But you know what? Your home is unique to you. And everybody loves Grandma Teresa. So they're going to love your home. Now, can they compare it to Janine's home, or Natty's home, or Lisa's home? Yeah, they could compare it. Is that fair? No, it's not fair. But that shouldn't stop you from making your content. And I'll illustrate it this way. Yep. Good to have you back, Biker. I'll illustrate it this way. There are some people that are men, and they do what's called a comb over. They'll comb their hair to the side. So they're balding in the middle, and they'll let the sides grow long, and they'll just comb it over, right? So some of us can be doing a comb over with making content, you know? But I will tell you this. Everything you're doing is working. Can you improve anything? Maybe. But what? I don't know. You know, I don't know. But I think when people accept you for who you are, then that's the best content to give them. One of the main reasons I don't show y'all what I look like. I had somebody on Instagram tell me, send me a picture. I want to know what you look like. And I'm like, you know, what I look like is not important. Like, I am not the content. This stuff that y'all see this is the content. This is the content. You know, I'm not the content. This stuff is the content. And that's what I want y'all to see. Me showing you how to take this and go, that's perfect. That's the content. You know, oftentimes, you know, people want everything they don't have, you know? And I don't want to distract from the content that I'm making. I really don't. And me and Biker had a conversation the other day about that. When I was at Chicken's Kitchen and I was eating the fried ribs, at the very end of the video, I went to pick something up off the ground and I was all on camera. And I was like, dang, because I did a premiere on this video. I was so excited. And next thing you know, I'm all skylined on the camera. And so I was like, Biker, should I delete it? And he was like, look, man, I think you should, but it's up to you. I said, but if I delete it, then I'm losing great content. I said, I don't think nobody's going to make it to minute 37 in this video anyway. So I went with that. I said, well, ain't nobody going to watch this whole video. You know, he said, you'll be surprised. You know, I didn't know that. I did not know that. But I kind of just did it. I kind of just did it like this in the beginning because I really wanted people to just look at the content, and I really wanted to know, would my channel appeal to people even though they don't see me? And now I don't even think about it. You know, I don't even think about it. It's like I'm just making content, you know? But at some point, I'm going to get on camera. I'm going to tell you that right now. I just don't think it's right for me right now. And at some point in one of those camping videos, you know, you're going to see a little streak like that, you know? But I want to do a little segment, and I haven't talked to Bika about this yet. Yeah, see, Bika's on it. He caught me 4 times, revealing my face. But I want to do a segment with Biker where we go eat at different restaurants, and we not necessarily rate the food. We just say if we like it or not. Like, will we buy it again? You know, like Biker and me. You know, or would we eat here again? You know, and we just go in there, we do what we got to do. We eat the food, and then we leave, and we just talk about it post-meal, you know. But I think that, for sure, Biker, for sure. But I think that a lot of people get caught up in the process, and the process, getting caught up in the process isn't great. And what I mean by that is, you know, if I don't have this fancy camera, if I don't have this, could I still make content? Yes. Use your cell phone if you have one. Borrow somebody's cell phone if you don't have one. You know, upload the video and just do that until you could buy a cell phone or until you could buy a camera. I'm gonna show y'all this because this is really how silly I am with some stuff. All right, so y'all have seen this spot. Normally it's over here on this little wall, but I moved it over here. Let me just show you this. So, all right, I'm gonna just leave it just like this. I'm gonna move this right here. All right. Now, in some of my very earliest videos, I built this prop. This is the pressure treated fence board. 1, 2, the back one 3, this one here 4. And I call it the manger sometimes because it looks like a little manger. All right, so this little prop is ugly as ever, but you know what? This thing worked great because when I'm cooking in the beginning, when I did a lot more before I had the gimbal, before I had this thing, this is how I was cooking. And I would put it on the stove, and then you have the pot right here. I'll zoom in so you didn't see the actual item, and I'm cooking right here, you know? And then the steam is going up there like that, and I'm cooking just like this, you know? So I built this little stand out of scrap nothing so that I could make a YouTube video because I was not going in more debt to try to buy anything to be able to do a YouTube video. And so that's how I started. And then I said, well, you know what? I want to make the studio look a little nicer. You know, I want to make the studio look a little nicer. I can't wait till you get that phone, Grandma. I really can't. So I wanted to make the studio look a little nicer. And so I was on the river, and I'll tell you the video that this was from. I did some white beans. I did white beans and hot sausage. So I cooked the beans in advance. I went to Balestra's or it's called Bromart now, and I bought some hot sausage, and I cooked the hot sausage right there on the river. Warmed those white beans up. Had a great video, and I saw this piece of wood, and I was like, man, that's nice. And I brought that sucker home. And so sometimes I would just put that right there, just so it would be a prop next to the pot, and then I would just put that in frame. You didn't see the whole house. You didn't need to see the whole house. I don't want you to get distracted by my raccoon rug or the roaches running across the floor. You know what I mean? So I just wanted you to see that, because this is the most important thing at the moment, the tape measure in the pot, because people will be looking at and that's why in some of the videos, like I'll have something like that right there, and I'll be like, man, get out of the video. You're not in this video. Everybody want to be in a video, and so it was just to play. It was just to play with the awkwardness of trying to keep the house private. I don't want you to see my file cabinet. I don't want you to see my drawers on the floor or my shirt that's been on the floor for the last 3 years. I don't want you to see that, because I want you to see, let's see what's behind the screen. That's what I want you to see. So what I'm saying is, content is going to change as you get comfortable. In some of the earliest videos I made, I would talk with a little voice. Before I started saying, no, I'm going to tell you. Before I started saying that, I had a different voice. And I had a few people that I know really well, and they know me really well. They told me to stop doing the voice. But what they didn't know was, when you behind this camera, everything changes. Everything changes. That's right. So I just wanted things to be a little different. So then I had this brick. I've been having this brick for 6 years. Don't ask me why I've been having this brick for 6 years, but I've been having this brick for 6 years. And you know what? First lady had some gold spray paint. And I said, man, I'm going to spray paint that brick. And boy, I spray painted that brick, and I couldn't get this better than this. So I painted over it 4 times. And finally, it's going to have to stay like that. But this little brick, you know what, man? That little brick made me feel like I'm a millionaire. Because when I see that brick on the side right there, I'm like, man, I like that. See, stuff always won't be on the counter, And that's okay, because this is the studio, It ain't got to be perfect. For all those people that's got a perfect kitchen, forget them. Forget them all, because they're lying. They probably don't even wash dishes, They ain't even cooking that food, But anyway, so, like, all of this junk up here, this is a real kitchen. And I've organized this whole little thing multiple times. You can look at the live I did the other day. I organized. Now, I'm really proud of this. It's maintaining, I'm really proud of it. This baby is maintaining too, but I'm proud of it. Now the glasses, let's see, I don't know. Not bad. So I'm satisfied with that, And so the point I'm trying to make is, like, your little area, your little studio, has got to be comfortable for you. I'm gonna bring him back. But the voice just helped me to get started. It helped me to get started, and it helped me not to take myself so serious. I made a video, and that's why I started posting bloopers. That's why I eat on camera, because I want you to know the food is really good. I'm not just taking a bite, telling you it's good, and it's not good, you know. But I want the content to be real. I want the few people that are out there that really want to watch whatever I'm doing. But also, with that being said, I don't want to be selfish either. You know, there are a lot of people who just want you to subscribe to them. And then you know what you do? You talk to them. You comment on their videos. You give their videos a like. You even share them in a post. You even share them in a post. And I told you this the other day, Grandma Teresa. I said, you know what? Every time I see you sharing one of my videos, I laugh. You know? I laugh. You know, I laugh. It's like when you're scrolling through and then you're looking at a video, you're scrolling through, then bam, one of your videos pop up. You're like, man, that's crazy. I recognize that voice, you know? But anyway, so I want to support other channels too. And that's why I made that video a while back about one of the hardest things to do is to support other channels. And the reason being, it's hard to do it because you got your hands full. All right. Now, I know y'all don't know this, but Maxwell House, you knew they had worms? They own worms? That go a big one right there. Okay, this is a red worm. He better wake up. And this is one of those night crawlers. Yep. And what happened, let him go back to sleep. Trying to keep him cold. I didn't go in there for this. Let me wash his hand off so nobody cancel me. All right. But this is what I wanted to show you. So I'm doing a video on this. And this is just basically iced coffee. Oh, you do that too, Grandma? That's what's up. This is just a Coke bottle I got from the Asian Latino store. I mean, this sucker ain't gonna break. But anyway, so in this bottle, man, where's all of it? I wonder if Souschef was drinking it. Because I just made this today. But anyway, so the point of the video is this. All right. Let me see. All right. Try it like that. So in the bottom of this bottle, you put the grinds in. All right. However many grinds you want. And I prefer using cheap, and I don't want to say cheap like that, but I prefer using a very economical coffee. Whatever bargain brand you could buy, I would prefer that for iced coffee. And I'm gonna tell you why. Iced coffee will change the flavor of any coffee that you use, and it's gonna make it better. It's gonna make it better. And how it makes it better, I don't know. I think with not using any heat. So anyway, just put your grinds in the bottom of the bottle or the pitcher, whatever you use. Put your grinds in the bottom. And then after that, you want to add your water. Let me turn it this way. I don't know if the lighting is bad or what. That might be a little better. All right. I don't know. Anyway, so put your grinds in the bottle. They're going to go to the bottom. When you add the water, give it a shake it up. And then what you want to do is, I like to flip it and get all of the grinds that be at the top. I'm sorry, I flip it and I get all of the grinds that's at the top of the neck of the bottle, and I get them to go back to the bottom. And then you just sit that in the refrigerator. And I like 2 days. And the reason I like 2 days, because, all right, we'll do a little science lesson. But you got something called specific gravity. And I only know this because I was a firefighter. That's it. But you got something called specific gravity. So if you look up here at the top, all of this stuff that's suspended around here, it's lighter than the water. because if it was heavier than the water, it'll be down here with all of the heavy stuff. So in a day or two, preferably two, all of these little fine particulates, they're going to get waterlogged, and then they'll go down to the bottom, down here with all this heavy stuff. See this stuff, all of these grinds here, these grinds are heavier than the water. That's why they're on the bottom. But these grinds that are all in the middle, they're eventually going to go to the bottom. So I like 2 days on iced coffee. I like to wait 2 days. But you could cheat. You can get one of these little strainers like this, and you can put that over your cup. Put it over your cup. Always in the camera. And then you could just pour your coffee into the strainers, and you could get it out that way. And that'll make it faster. That'll make it faster. But you know, that's one thing you could do. But this is really easy to make as well. And what I like about it, I'll just fill up my cup with ice, and then I'll just pour some iced coffee, and I have a nice drink like that. But iced coffee will improve the flavor. It will improve the flavor of a coffee that is not premium coffee. And that works too. That works too. But I'm gonna also do a video on what was I gonna do that video on? Yeah, so I'm supposed to do the shrimp stew video. I want to do a chicken, like a sticky chicken video, or a chicken stew video. I'm gonna do a chowder video at some point, a seafood chowder. I'm gonna do that at some point, and I'm gonna try to get on the river and just do a few cooking videos out there on the river. I really enjoy doing that. So I have a few things I want to do. Another thing I did in the very beginning, and I got the paperwork somewhere, but I would have a piece of paper and I'd write down themes for topics that I wanted to do. And then I would write down ideas that I had. But man, I ain't seen that paper in 7 months, it feels like. I don't know where it's at. It's here somewhere. But I will tell you this. When you learn how to edit a video, that'll unlock a lot of possibilities for you. Because when you edit a video, you can save that video and re-edit it a different way. And that way you can maximize your content as well. Or like in your case, Grandma Teresa, you can take a clip of a video and just isolate that clip and edit that. And so you can make content off of content off of content, you know. So there's a lot of ways to do stuff like that. But it's a learning curve. And I'll tell you this. By my collarbone being broken, these fingernails are growing, man. Whoo. And I hate having long nails, you know. But when I cut them, they grow. So I just said, I'm going to just wait till, you know. But I cut these 3 off, you know. But it kind of happened, you know. And I'm going to cut them again. You know, I might make a video. I want to do a series. Now, don't laugh at this. But I want to do a series, and it's going to be called How to Be a Man. You know, I want to do a series on how to be a man. And so I'm going to just do some things that men should know how to do, that men might not ask anybody else about. You know, like I remember one day I was riding my bike on a levee, and one of my cycling mentors, he was passing by and he started talking to me. Like while he was riding, he slowed down and started riding with me, and he was talking to me. And I was like, look, bro, you know, I'm having this little problem, you know? And he said, look, man, all you got to do is this, you know, do this and do this. And I was like, okay, cool. So he gave me some free information about something that I was having a little problem with. because I ride my bike every day. And so I would have had to Google it to know how to fix the problem. But because we have a good rapport and he was right there, I just asked him. But I think for men, some men don't have a dad. So I could be like a big brother, uncle, Show them how to change a tire. Show them how to take the trash out. Show them how to say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, thank you, ma'am. Baby, would you like? Show them how to do all of that, Show them how to mop, wash dishes, sew, mend the socks and all that other stuff, And even how to cook. Because I think that we're missing that link with some men. They didn't have to do those things, but just because you didn't have to do it at 10 doesn't mean you can't do it at 40, So that's where I'm at. I want to do a little series just for men on, how to be a man. But everybody could look at it because they have a lot of women that do things that were traditionally deemed for men to do, And I think that's the nice thing about a playlist on your YouTube channel. You can have unlimited playlists where you talk about different subjects, and it'll work. It'll work. That's why I like, coffee time is such a big deal because it's a chance to talk about something with people that want to have conversation. And you're always going to have one of them in a bunch that just listens, and that's good too because they're listening. They like listening. But coffee time is a special time. We can solve the world's problems one cup at a time. That's right. That's right. But I still need to edit. I need to edit 6 hours of videos. So I'm going to have to, unfortunately, end this live. And I got to jump on those videos because I'm so behind. And my memory card only has a few minutes left of space. So, oh yeah, so this is what you got to do, Biker. You got to go in the playlist that the short is in, and you'll be able to comment on it in there. According to, I don't remember who said that on Grandma Teresa's live. I don't remember who. But a lot of people have that problem, so they have to go to the playlist where the short is to comment there. Yep. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Y'all are an hour ahead. Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. My bad, Vico. All right, thanks, Grandma. Thanks, Teresa. And I'm going to see y'all soon. Around lunchtime, huh, Grandma? Yep. Biker, let me know if it works, though. Like, so if you go on a playlist, on a short, let me know if it works. Yeah, I don't remember who said it either, Grandma. But I know it was on your live that it was said. But I did remember when that was said, and I thought that was very interesting that a lot more people was having that problem. For sure, for sure. All right, Grandma, good night now. And remember, come back now, yeah? Yep. All right, so I'm going to see y'all tomorrow. Thank y'all for logging in, spending y'all valuable time. Okay, cool. Thanks, Biker. And I'll see y'all on the next one. So remember, we're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And appreciate all the support. We make a good team. And don't forget, y'all come back now, yeah?